up since like 3:30. But good evening, everyone. Welcome to our 30-day goal challenge. This is day one. Let me see if I can get us both on the screen. Yeah, so this is day one of our 30-day goal challenge. I am Coach Sheree Vejan. Um, I'm going to be here with you live every night. You're going to be sick of me. Prepare to be sick of me. I'll be here with you every night in the month of February because I'm going to do this 30-day challenge in December to help you guys get ready for January. And then February because you wasn't ready in January. And you let the whole month of January pass by and need to get back on track with your goals. And then I'll be back in June, midway, to see if you are still on track with your goals. And so this is our 30-day goal challenge. And today is day one. I am Coach Sheree Vejan. I help individuals achieve their life goals while maintaining a healthy work-life balance, and I do that through teaching group coaching programs and hosting monthly challenges like this one and live events. So I'm also the published author of over 11 books. My goal is to have 20 books by the end of the year, and I have been on track, so you guys will see a lot more work for me this year. Co-founder of the Goal Setters Club, which is a coaching organization specializing in helping you reach your goals, getting a plan together, and discovering your purpose. I am a certified coach, trainer, and speaker with the John C. Maxwell team, mom of 3 adult children, and wife of over 31 years. I think it's 32 now. Okay. Talk about that later. So what to expect. So I'm going to give you an overview of what you can expect in this next 30 days. So we're going to explore a new aspect of goal setting and achieving your goals each day. And then throughout the journey, we're going to be using the 2024 Goals Journal. So we're just going to be excerpting things out of here and doing like a fast track 1-year program in 30 days. And then by the end of the course, you should have all the tools, strategies, mindset, hopefully, that you need to make 2024 your most successful year. Okay, so we have 3 categories. I'm going to make myself lower. Let's see. Okay, so we have 3 categories. So I've broken them down, the 30 days, into 3 sections. Before the goal, setting and achieving the goal, and then after the goal. And so before the goal, in this phase, we're going to talk about the importance of preparation and the right mindset before setting goals. And so we're going to talk about things like self-reflection, identifying your values, finding purpose, things like that, and then setting and achieving the goals. So we'll go through the top 12 categories that's inside of the goals journal, and we'll use my 7-step method for that. And then after the goal, the things that you are going to need after you set your goals. So like your affirmations and your getting accountability and things like that. So 3 categories in 30 days. So before the goal, the topics that we're going to cover in this phase, reflecting on the past year, 6 things to consider before you craft your goals, which if you probably heard that from me. It's my signature before the goal course, which is brag on yourself, embrace who you are, forgive yourself, own who you are, remember your why, and expect to change. Your ideal life. Crafting a detailed vision of your ideal life, discovering your purpose, who you are, and then writing your goals down, your 1, your 5, your 10-year goals, and then balancing them out. All right, so let's get started. I want to start with a quote. A small increase in effort could make it possible for a person to achieve their goals in half the time. A few more hours, a few more days, a few more weeks could make a huge difference. All right. Let me look at the chat and see if there's anything in chat. Oh, hey, Kennedy Chauncey. So we are on day 1, and today we are talking about reflecting on the past year. So I'm going to start with this story about my eye. It's my eyelash story. So, why are we engaging in activities before we actually set our goals? And so I want to share a personal story about my eyelashes. So I had this technician. All she wanted was a credit card, and she wanted me to choose between the 3 lashes that were available. And I think it was like classic, medium, and like extra or something like that. Book your appointment. If you can't come, call us and cancel. That was it. That was it. Then I had this new technician, and I met this girl. And she says, "Oh, this is the only person I'll let touch my eyebrows." Da, 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 da. And so I got her number, and then she sent me several text messages. She said, "Send me some pictures of lashes that you like. Send me some pictures of lashes that you had in the past." Did that. She said, "Okay, now I need you to put down a $25 deposit, non-refundable. So if you cancel your appointment, you will not get your money back." It's like, okay. Then she sent me this long list of things that I needed to do before I came to her appointment. Shower. Don't know why. So maybe she had a situation where people wasn't showering before they got their lashes done. But the first thing on her list was shower before your appointment. Arrive with a clean face, no makeup, no skincare, no contacts, wear comfy clothes, arrive on time. And she had some other things, but the main thing that hit me was no caffeine. And I'm like, are you kidding? And what does that have to do with eyelashes? And so she had messaged me. She says, "Oh, I just wanted to make sure that, you have the directions." She was so thorough. And I hadn't even met her yet. I hadn't even been to the appointment. And she said, "Do you have any questions?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got one question. I understand some of the other things, but I'm trying to figure out why I can't have no caffeine because I need coffee. And you're about 30 miles away from me, and I got to drive to where you are." And she said, "The reason why is because when people have coffee, their eyes are jittery. And when they're laying down, the eyes are moving and shaking. And I don't want to mess up your eyelashes, and it's going to take me." So something to that effect. And I was like, I never heard of that in my I've never heard of that. And so what does this have to do with goal setting? Because some of the things that we need to do before we set our goals, they seem irrelevant, or they seem like a waste of time, like, oh, let me just hurry up and get to the goals. But it's those foundational things that we do before we set the goals that help set how we're gonna approach the rest of the year. So I had 2 ladies, 2 different appointments that approached their work that made a huge difference in the results that I achieved. So similarly, how you approach your before process and your goals will determine the quality of the outcome of the goals. So although we don't just jump into goal setting immediately, the things we do first will set the foundation for the work we put in 2024. So hopefully that was helpful to you. Okay, day 1, reflect on the past year. And now that we've already had 1 month in, reflect on the past month. Reflect on last week. But for the sake of this exercise, and before you start to write down your goals for 2024, if you haven't already, if you are part of our mastermind, hopefully you have written your goals out. We do that in December. December, we write our goals out, so that way when January comes, we're ready to hit the ground running. But if you haven't, that is why I'm here in February. So this is day 1 of our challenge. We're going to kickstart the journey with the exercise of reflection. So in John Maxwell's book, the 15 Laws of Growth. Let me see if I could, give me a second here. Thanks for your patience here. All right, so in John Maxwell's book, The 15 Laws of Growth, chapter 4 focuses on the law of reflection. Learning to pause allows growth to catch up with you. Why reflect? Reflecting on the past year allows us to learn from our experiences, both successes and challenges. It's a chance to celebrate our acknowledge our accomplishments and then identify the areas that we need to grow in. And so John Maxwell, he emphasizes growth doesn't happen by accident, it's intentional. And he talks about the power of pausing. The power of pausing turns your reflections into insights. Pausing with intention expands and enriches our thinking. And then good questions are at the heart of reflection. And how do you apply the law of reflection in your life? One, you want to create a place where you can consistently pause and reflect. I'm not sure if it was actually in this book, but I know in one of his books, he said that there's a space outside, or there's a space that he sits. I think it's each day, and reflect on the day. What happened? How could it be a better day? Just like he created this whole reflection process. Schedule a time to pause and reflect. Be intentional about your thinking during reflection. And then your reflective journey. Again, finding a quiet and comfortable place, taking out your journal or piece of paper, and then writing down your key takeaways from your reflection time. So I wanted to give you some questions, and then I'm going to create like a worksheet. I'm going to create a worksheet for the questions too, and put it inside of the challenge portal. I really am. I really am. Okay, so some reflection questions that you can ask yourself for the end of the year. What worked well and did not work for me this year? Name 3 things you are most proud of this year and why. What resources help you grow? What surprised you? Either maybe you surprised yourself. What challenges did you face, and then what did you learn? What goals did you set last year that you didn't reach? What goals did you set that you did reach that you probably shouldn't even put on the list? You realize that, hey, even though I reached that goal, it didn't benefit me. It didn't move the needle for me. Reflect on your personal growth. Have you developed new skills? Did you gain new knowledge? Did you improve anyway? Did you learn something about yourself? I learned a couple of things about myself last year. 2 important things. Next, are you on track to achieve your yearly goals? I know it's already February, but if your goal is to, especially if you're in school and you need to finish so many semesters, or you need to finish so many years, or you need to finish a program, especially like cosmetology programs where you have to spend so many hours. If you're doing early childhood development where you have to spend so many hours, you got to know if you're on track. Yes, it's only February, but the sooner you get started, the sooner you add, hey, I got this much time to lose this much weight. I got this much time to save this much money. I got this much time to get my credit together. Making sure you're taking those daily steps. The reflection time is going to help you with that. And we'll get into that in the tips. So the tips: make reflection a regular practice. So for this particular challenge, even though we're specifically talking about a year-end reflection, because before you go into the new year, I believe it's very important to reflect on the past year with honesty. To actually sit down and say, who am I this year? What do I want this year? Not who you thought you were, not who you think people should think you are, but who are you, and how are you going to move forward this year? And so I know for this particular task is for year end, but it's also valuable to reflect daily, to reflect weekly, to reflect monthly. Consistency allows you to track your progress and then notice your patterns, over time. Creating a sacred space. I know we talked about that. Designating a specific place or environment for reflection where you can minimize distractions and focus on your thoughts. So, if you have kids, if you have a busy household, if you have a noisy household, maybe you play music or the windows are open, find a space that, or maybe the time needs to be early in the morning or early at night where there's no distractions. Be honest and vulnerable. Reflect with authenticity. It's essential to be honest with yourself and acknowledge both your strengths and areas for improvement. Document your insights. We talked about that, having a journal before you sit down. Kind of write out, what am I thinking about? What's going on? How do I feel? What's my mood? What have I learned about myself? What do I need to change? Do I need to, you might need to get counseling. You might have discovered something in your reflection process that's going to help you reach your goals. Practice self compassion. Be kind to yourself during reflection, because then we can get into over criticizing. Oh, I messed up. Oh, I suck. Oh, I'm fat. I mean, you just go into this whole thing of self sabotage. But the point of the exercise is to reflect and to become better, not to reflect and beat up on yourself, right? Be open minded and prepared to embrace change. Be open to adjusting your goals and plans based on your reflection. Flexibility is the key to adapting new insights and circumstances. This may be a moment to pivot. You might get into a reflection and be like, I don't even want to live in California no more. I don't even want to take this course anymore. I don't even want this job no more. Now, you don't want to come out of reflection and now you don't have nothing. Nothing. But you do want to reflect and be honest and not just keep going through life on autopilot. And then last, stay patient. Personal growth is a journey. It takes time. Patience and persistence are essential virtues in the process. So those are my tips for reflection. So even though, it's a small word, it seems simple. Okay, let me go over here and reflect. I really hope that you would have a moment. Maybe take yourself out to for coffee, sit with yourself, go to the park, sit in a car, sit in a closet, sit outside, sit on the porch, and take a good hour or two or more or a day and just reflect on last year. I have a friend who sends out a letter of the year for her family, and I'm sure she has to sit down and reflect, like, what happened this year that I can fit on a page and a half of paper. And she writes down what her family went through, their new jobs, who went to school, who graduated, their milestones, their struggles. And so it's a good legacy piece to keep, and then it's also a good reminder for the next year. You can keep all those letters that you sent out to your friends. So some of the resources, John Maxwell, 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. The link is in the video. Chapter 4 is when he talks about he talks about the law of reflection. Of course, the 2024 Goals Journal, if you did not have your copy, go ahead and get your copy. It's 2024goalsjournal.com. It's going to lead you to the Amazon. If you have Prime, you're going to get it. I think you get it the next day, 2 days, and then you get free shipping. Much better than the shipping I could give you guys. So I had to just switch it on over to Amazon. And then if you haven't got the Goals magazine, I put the link there at the bottom too. It's the goalsmagazine.com. It's free. You can read it online. It's from what I know of, it's the only goal magazine that is for you to help you reach your goals. There's articles. This month we're working on our health and fitness goals. And so the resources are here for you. Also, the reboot. If you don't have this is a guide of our reboot launch. It has recipes in it. It has juice recipes. It has smoothie recipes. And I didn't put the link there because that was the last minute thing. But yeah, I think that's all I have for you guys. Go ahead and visit 30daygoalchallenge.com if you want to get some of the notes from tonight. Also, the replay, it'll be available on YouTube for a little bit. Thank you guys for joining me. If you have questions, you can go ahead and I don't see any questions in the chat. This is day 1, and I will see you tomorrow for day 2.